Are you looking for better shooting experience? How about a facility where you can shoot all of your firearms in the same day, where you can move and shoot steel, draw from the holster, and practice your rifle work out to 600 yards? Shoot a very challenging sporting clays course or a round of trap or skeet. You can do all that and much more at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, president of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you love the outdoors, you'll want to know all about Northern Illinois' largest outdoor shooting facility, the Aurora Sportsman's Club. If you're a novice looking for a basic course, an experienced shooter looking for an advanced course, or perhaps you want to participate in your favorite shooting event, or just spend an enjoyable day with a family, the Aurora Sportsman's Club is the only shooting facility in the region that offers all that and more. Interested? Then you won't want to miss the next orientation and tour of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Call, email, or visit our website today to find out how you can become part of a better shooting experience at the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman, Illinois.
He is the human Molotov cocktail that they can legally throw into the system that stole their lives from them.
So we're going to create a new government that serves you, your family, and your country.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues, here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David's rant of the week is When Comedy Isn't, with David and Gretchen talking about the Kathy Griffin controversy. And it's about time. Congress has finally issued subpoenas to the higher-ups at the NSA, CIA, and FBI for illegally unmasking innocent Americans. Has SCOTUS gone too far this time? They opted to not hold Los Angeles County deputies liable for the reckless shooting of a homeless couple. And finally, why cities shouldn't be taking down Confederate statues. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So give us a call at 815-205-1584. That's 815-205-1584. Or go to Facebook, like our page On Target Radio, and ask a question or make a comment there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
It's one hell of a wrinkle in the great cosmic muffin when Al Franken condemns a fellow liberal, but I expect one has-been comedian can pick out another easily enough. In this case, it's Kathy Griffin, who, by her own admission, is a D-list comedian. Griffin distinguished herself earlier this week by holding a likeness of Donald Trump's severed head covered in blood. It's comedy, she said, but there were no roars of laughter, no thundering applause. I just want to make people laugh. That's all I want to do, she said. I don't know. I'm laughing at her. But for her, the only sound was Griffin's career splattering on the pavement and being run over by a Mack truck driven by John Q. Public. It sure didn't take long for Franken to dump Griffin from some event he had planned. Being fired by a third-rate comedian and politician should be insult enough. But thankfully it wasn't. She's been fired from her CNN New Year's Eve hosting job, had her comedy act canceled at venues in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, and lost her celebrity spokesperson job with Squatty Potty. Squatty Potty? She's a spokesperson for a toilet. Okay, I get that. She's typecasting. So now she's a free agent. Perhaps there's a septic tank cleaner that will hand her a straw and hire her. When the you-know-what hit the fan, perhaps the result of a Squatty Potty catastrophic failure, Griffin became remorseful, made a video, and said she'd made a terrible mistake. Right. Her mistake was she's a liberal and too stupid to know even liberals have limits. Melania Trump said, and I quote, "As a mother, a wife, and a human being, that photo is very disturbing. When you consider some of the atrocities happening in the world today, a photo opportunity like this is simply wrong, and it makes you wonder about the mental health of the person who did it," unquote. Yeah. And from the Don, and from the President, the Don, this tweet: Kathy Griffin should be ashamed of herself. My children, especially my 11-year-old son Barron, are having a hard time with this. Sick, unquote. That was the extent of any public statement by the Trumps. If Griffin had just shut up after the video apology, things would have eventually died down. Oh, but she didn't. And she didn't because the whole thing was carefully orchestrated to bolster a career that's sinking faster than the Titanic. Faced with the chilling prospect of her career becoming so banal, she had no other option available to her than probably running for a Senate seat. I'm betting she put this whole thing together well in advance. The next day after the apology, she held a press conference with civil rights attorney Lisa Bloom, kicking off the festivities with her admonition, "The message is clear. Criticize the president, lose your job, and that's what's happening to Kathy. It stops here, and it stops now," unquote. Right, as if she has the power to stop the president of the United States if he were actually doing anything wrong to begin with, which, of course, he wasn't. And civil rights attorney Bloom seems to forget how liberals have demanded conservatives who have offended them be fired. He thinks the only civil rights Ms. Bloom cares about are getting camera FaceTime and a big, fat civil rights attorney hourly fee. Now, boys and girls, pay attention for today's lesson in understanding liberal logic. Picture, if you will, living in a universe where a third-rate comedian holds up a likeness of the president's severed head, covered in blood, and shouts, "She's being bullied." What's wrong with that picture? Well, aside from it includes the severed head of a president of the United States, that is. And here's another thing. How did she find a civil rights attorney and get her to make such a lovely anti-women's rights speech so fast? Seriously, if you had to find a civil rights attorney, would you even know where to start looking? It isn't as if she went to Yelp looking for a lawyer to close on her house. This is a civil rights attorney who, has no obligation the next day whatsoever? That this was a setup didn't escape Donald Trump Jr., who tweeted, "The only thing Kathy Griffin is a victim of is her own ignorance. 24 hours from fake apology to victim status is impressive by any standard." And victim she played. Griffin accused President Donald Trump and his family of launching a campaign to destroy her life in retaliation. Interesting, since those 3 quotes are the only ones I could find on the internet about this issue from anyone with the last name Trump. If those 3 quotes were capable of destroying her life, then she's even lower than D-rated on the comic list. During an interview, she said this wouldn't be happening if she were a white male, that her career was likely over, and that President Trump had broken her. If only. But, of course, the president has 1 or 2 other issues on his plate at the moment, such as, preventing the North Koreans from launching an all-out nuclear strike against the United States, and George Soros funding riots in whatever major cities not currently burning. Back at the circus, Griffin lamented, "What's happened to me has never, ever happened in the history of this great country before, which is a sitting president of the United States, his grown children, and the First Lady are personally trying to ruin my life forever." You know what else has never happened in the history of this great country? Some left-wing whack job holding up a fake severed head of a U.S. president. Griffin went on to say, "I don't think I have a career after this. I'll be honest, he broke me. He broke me." Though she was unable to coax teardrops out of her eyes. Then, after a pause, comes back like a ninja warrior with, "This president, after me, he picked the wrong redhead." Well, you know what? You know what they say. Elections have consequences, and personally, I think the redhead picked the wrong president. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
Well, as far as Lisa Bloom is concerned, Lisa Bloom is a whore. And she'll, like you said, she'll go anywhere where somebody's offering her a paycheck. So
it didn't take much to notify her.
Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently there's not a lot of call that day for...
Apparently celebrities have Lisa Bloom on speed dial.
That's probably true. It would be nice if that was a celebrity for her to attach her star to, but...
yeah, no.
We were talking about this before the show, but she's been fired from other shows. She's always, over the top. But the interesting thing is the typical liberal logic. Mm-hmm. She does this and takes absolutely no blame whatsoever for the backlash. Mm-hmm. I spent probably an hour trying to research anything that Trump said about this, and those are the only 3 statements, one from the president, one from his son, and one from his wife, like one or two sentences. That was it.
Right.
If that is an all-out affront, she's talking about she's getting death threats, she's getting canceled. That's not the president.
No.
That's people going, you really crossed the line this time.
Right.
Really.
And I also, what really struck me this week with this whole issue is how classy what Melania said was. I'm like, and that's why she's the first lady.
Exactly. Exactly. So she's blaming, not Melania, but Kathy Griffin is blaming Donald Trump and his family for the loss of her career. Well, first of all, her career was pretty much down the toilet. She was...
Yeah, I haven't followed her ever since she ruined the Fashion Police.
Well,
so.
and see, you're just one of millions who haven't followed her.
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, she does stand-up shows.
She does stand-up. However,
know.
that apparently has come to an end.
Yeah, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
No one's interested in hearing her stand-up act. But yeah, I mean, and I would see, back when I had cable, I would occasionally see a taped, stand-up show on Comedy Central or something like that. So.
Well, and basically, liberalism, lying just doesn't affect them. It literally doesn't bother them. I pulled that
well,
quote.
If you don't have a moral baseline, I mean...
Anything goes.
Right. There's no method by which to judge right and wrong if you don't have a moral baseline.
Exactly. There's that quote from Saul Alinsky in Rule for Radicals, which is an interesting quote. It says, "He who sacrifices the mass for his personal conscience has a peculiar conception of personal salvation. He doesn't care enough for the people to be corrupt for them." Only a liberal could think that way. Mm-hmm. Like as you say, there's like no moral compass whatsoever.
Well, and Saul Alinsky was talking about, basically the good of the many over the good of the individual, and any means to an end and that sort of thing. And I just, most conservatives don't feel that way.
No. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, it took them long enough. They have issued subpoenas to the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI. All that and more when we come back with more on Target Radio.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
Do you dread writing? Is it challenging to find just the right words to get your point across? Do you put off developing marketing materials because you just don't know where to start? You get one chance to make a first impression, and my editor, Creative Business Services, can help make it a strong, positive one. Hi, this is Gretchen Fritz, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to tell you about My Editor, a business I started to help you overcome those concerns. What you're experiencing is very common. My Editor has helped business owners, candidates for political office, and even authors and public speakers. At My Editor Creative Business Services, we can simply edit your existing work or help you develop an entire writing plan of action from initial project design through final copy. We are easy to work with and will help you get your point across in the most effective manner. If words escape you, send me an email at myeditor@mail.com. Use My Editor Creative Business Services and go to print with confidence. That's myeditor@mail.com or find us on Facebook.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
Give us a call, 815-205-1584. 815-205-1584. You know, you left yesterday right after your teaching, and you didn't come out to the open house, and it was pretty good. I thought it went well.
Yeah, we had a lot of people out there, a lot of different activities we do in the club, and I think everybody had a good time.
You could have shot black powder or
muzzle loading.
Well, it's actually a lot of people
It's
did.
my dream.
That was real popular. Yeah,
Cowboy was pretty popular
yeah,
too.
yeah. And we had
That would be interesting.
we had pork chops,
Oh,
and
nice.
they were pretty good.
Nice. I stayed after Jim left, and I put up my Facebook event for my ice cream social, and then I just like hit the wall. I was just like,
That was it.
I'm like, how am I going to drive home? So that I couldn't, because
You saw the elephant.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to make it home if
It
I
was
did that.
it was nice. You know, we had a good time. So I think the nice thing was we just did something for members only. And that was a nice thing to do, but it was enjoyable. And,
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was
it was members only.
Oh,
We
okay.
closed the whole club down, and they had to come. We gave them free food, and they got to shoot stuff, and it was good.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to segue into issuing subpoenas for the NSA, CIA, and the FBI,
Because it's also good.
which I just did.
It's also good.
Yeah, it's that was the segue.
Here's the segue. You know what else is good?
That's
When the NSA, the FBI, and the CIA all get subpoenas.
what do you call it when you draw attention to something by saying you're not going to draw attention to it?
Oh,
There's
I
a word
can't-
for that.
I can't remember.
Is it paralepsis?
I don't know.
Well, anyway.
No, you look that one up. That one's like you change a common phrase into something unexpected. Like
That's a parapistokian.
Oh, okay.
Please, let's not get those.
Oh,
let's not get
gosh.
our P's mixed up here.
Oh my gosh. I got
Did everybody
my-
get that? Did that go out? Am I good? That's a parapistokian. Parapistokian.
I got my archaic, never used English words mixed up. Oh,
You want me to play
geez.
what we played before the show? I could put that on the air.
That would be good.
Parapistokian is like where there's a will, there's relatives. Okay? That's a parapistokian. I love them.
I always say, we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
That's right. That's right. I like to use big words that I don't know the meaning of because people think I'm photosynthesis. Yeah. Anyway, it took them a while because I think he ran out of ink a few times, but it took a while. But they have issued subpoenas to the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI, specifically about all that spying that they did. And it appears, and I know this will come as a shock to anyone that's listening to the show, it appears that the White House was corrupt.
No. The Obama White House?
I can't possibly imagine how that could be true. They were illegally sharing information. They obtained illegal information, wiretapping and all that, and then were sharing it with people who didn't have a classification to share the material if it had been obtained legally.
Sure.
And
Which, if you're going to break one law, just break them all. And why not?
well, you're on a roll.
Right.
If you're good at something, stick with it.
My mom taught me, in for a penny, in for a pound.
And I get that completely. Except these days, mostly I'm in for the penny. But
Well, you're in for a pound.
I'm in for a pound, but I'm only getting a penny. Yeah.
You're in for a pound. It's just a pound in debt.
Hey, I'm living the dream.
You are.
I'm living the dream.
You are.
Yeah. I need to get a motorhome. If I could afford a motorhome, none of you would ever see me again. That'd be it. I'm gone. You ought to take up a collection.
We'd be like Tom Hanks in that thing you do where he drives around in his motorhome signing bands. We'd be doing the show in your motorhome instead of this palatial dining room.
We could do that. It would be great. Actually, it's funny you say that because remember Eric Idle from Monty Python?
Mm-hmm.
He did a show around, what was it? Do you remember, did you see it? Around the World or something like that. And
No, I don't recall.
it was, it wasn't like it was a comedy exactly, but what he literally did is he went around the world, and it was just all the stuff that happened to him on this around the world trip, and it was funny, but it wasn't meant to be a comedy per se. It was a good show.
So it was just like Borat.
Except, and this is hard for me to say, Eric Idle had more credibility. Which, that's a little.
I think that pretty much goes without saying.
It's a little hard to get that out without breaking up.
Yeah, no, I think everybody knew that. You didn't really have to say that.
But it was.
I was just going for a laugh.
Borat. I never got into that.
I
didn't think he was funny.
Me neither.
Yeah, I didn't think he was funny.
I actually never saw that movie.
I saw like 20 minutes of it, and it's just like it didn't hook me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, they have issued subpoenas to the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI now. And it was this whole thing about, remember, they were talking about outing the Trump team, which, to be honest with you, I don't even understand why would they even bother to do that? What is the point of outing a transition team?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you gain
It's
from
not
that?
really, like, who's on the team really isn't a secret.
Right. I honestly can't quite understand what that
I
is.
think it's maybe simply putting the pieces together between what was said and who said it, is, not generally not
I
done.
don't know. If Ronkowski were listening, he'd know.
That's true.
He'd call up.
True. We need Ed right now.
Yeah, he'd call up and go, "You're wrong."
We need our Ed.
I think he's in like windsurfing in Guatemala or swinging from trees with the apes and
Is he like
the Himalayas.
skiing on an artificial mountain in Dubai?
Something, yeah. I just no, that would be too commercial for it. And,
Well, he would do it because he never did it before.
that might be.
But then he would go, "Oh, I'm never doing that again."
Yeah, well, I did it.
He would go, "Oh, that kind of sucked. I would never do that again."
I did it. I did it only so that I could say that it was like 120 degrees out and I skied.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would so do it.
The picture, though, is an interesting perspective. It makes it look a whole lot bigger than it really is. It's not that big.
All good pictures do.
Exactly. That's why I take pictures of my... Never mind. So,
I said that to Rick Jacobson has been putting fishing pictures on Facebook, and the second one that he put up, he was holding the fish closer to the camera.
So it looked like...
And I go, "That's it, Rick. You got the idea now. Hold the fish closer to the camera."
Exactly. That's, yeah. I don't know.
We got to tag Rick on this.
We're gonna do this story if it kills us.
I know. We got to make it last a whole segment. So
Well, and then there's that. We stick Rick
I'm doing my best.
Jacobson and his fish get stuck right in the middle of a CIA story. Yeah, I can see how that's going to work. Although, if anybody could be stuck in the middle of a story like that, it would be him.
We've already got Borat. Now, why not Rick Jacobson?
this is the guy who listens to police scanners day and night.
That's true.
And reports everything going on in his area on Facebook.
Not everything. I'm sure he's selective. He lives in Boulder Hill. He has to be selective.
Well, there's that. But it's like watching the news. It's probably better news than WGN.
Well, he doesn't spin it.
We don't really know because we've never gone and checked.
No, but I mean, he pretty much just says what's on the scanner.
Okay, fine. Anyway, it's interesting. So, speaking of Rick Jacobson and the CIA, there is no segue to any of this. You can't get from one to the other.
No, I've taken you over here, and now you somehow have to get back, and there's no way.
So, who did they call? Who did they tag? Thank heavens, Susan Rice.
Susan Rice, our favorite.
This is the woman who went on Sunday TV.
We need like a sound effect. Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. Let's add a sound effect to the board here. Susan Rice, who even at the time was going, "Who is this woman?" But this is bull, okay? So she gets a nod.
Yay.
CIA Director Brennan.
Former
Brennan, yeah. He's gotten the nod. And someone who I've never heard of, Samantha Power, former UN ambassador, but I don't remember, wasn't Bolton no, that was under Bush.
Yeah.
Her name doesn't ring a bell at all.
Yeah, I don't know her, but she was a staffer in Barack Obama's Senate office.
Yeah.
And then he hired her to work for the administration as well. So she's apparently somebody who,
Something.
was owed something. I'll say that. I was going to say something vulgar, but I decided not to.
It's not Bill Clinton.
Right.
Yeah.
You got where I was going.
No, I got where you're going, yeah. Bill Clinton's the reason that I started smoking cigars.
Lee Grow Herring says, "Not staying on point very well, are we?"
Well, you got something to say, Grow Herring? You just give us a call,
That's
okay?
right. Say it to my face.
It's been a long day. You know, we're kind of unwinding.
We're a little punchy.
If we'd have been drinking, it would have been better, but we didn't have an opportunity to do that. Of course, the Democrats had to come back with their list, right? And so they want to investigate Mike Flynn. I don't know about how that's going to work out.
The sound effect for that one is wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. And Michael Cohen, who is attorney of Trump.
Isn't he the guy with the show on E? Watch What Happens Live? No, that's Andy Cohen, sorry.
Right. The question becomes, I had asked you, you didn't know. I should have looked it up while we're still off the air. I'm wondering if Trey Gowdy's on the House Intelligence Committee.
Let me check.
Yeah, check that out. Because if he is, this will be a good show. That man is the ultimate pit bull. I really, both of us were kind of hoping that he was going to get named Attorney General.
The headline is, Representative Gowdy joins House Intelligence Committee on January 13th, 2017.
Oh, he's going to rip them a new one. I love that guy. I think
that could actually get me to watch C-SPAN.
Yeah, that's he is.
You would almost pay for that show.
And the thing I like about him the most, and he's brilliant, but the thing I like about him the most is he has that Southern. While he's ripping you to shreds, ma'am, that isn't the question. He's so polite, and then he just shoves a knife in your heart and twists
He's
it.
like, that is not what I asked you. And then they start talking again. That is not what I asked you.
He goes to Hillary Clinton after Clinton gives some long non-answer. Remember that long non-answer
so good
thing?
at that.
There was,
I kind of miss it. I kind of because it's so funny.
There was nothing there at all.
Like, I don't know how you say so many words and not one of them has any substance to it.
Exactly.
It's really quite incredible.
And after that, Gowdy goes, with all due respect, Madam Secretary, that wasn't the question.
That is not what I asked you. Yeah.
It's he's funny to watch.
For Southerners, I think the phrase "with all due respect" is the same as "bless your heart."
Yeah, bless your little heart.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. I would like to have seen him as Attorney General, although I think what's his name is.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
But Trey Gowdy would be.
He was.
The Trey Gowdy show every day. Oh.
They were probably afraid to make him Attorney General because he'd just go after everybody. Everybody.
There'd be nobody left.
Everybody, yeah. And we'd have a guy.
Like the U.S. government version of Macbeth.
Exactly. We'd have somebody calling every week going, we lost one more.
They'd be like.
It'd be going downhill.
We have another indictment.
Well, that was fun. And just for Grow Herring, we'll try and do something intelligent in the next segment.
That was intelligent. We got there.
Well, we got there somehow. I don't know. The next segment will be
I made it last the whole time, didn't I?
It'll be the Grow Herring segment coming up. All right? We're going to talk about the Fourth Amendment. I think SCOTUS has crossed the line. But all that and more, we'll return with more on Target Radio. Hi, I'm David Lombardo, co-host of On Target Radio, and I'd like to offer you a partnership opportunity. For over 4 years, On Target Radio covered the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech on AM 560 The Answer. But a 1-minute commercial was $200, making it tough to find enough sponsors. So last November, we left AM 560 and began podcasting. There's a learning curve to podcasting, and we've worked through the kinks and would now like to make you an offer. You can have a 60-second audio or video commercial for as little as $25 a week. We can also offer fellow conservatives their own radio or video podcast for as little as $100 a week with equipment and technical personnel included. You provide the content and host, plus get 6 free minutes of commercial time you can sell yourself. If you'd like to be an On Target Radio sponsor or explore the possibility of having your own show, call me at 815-741-3474 and let's explore the possibilities together.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
This segment is brought to you by the Will County Grassroots Division of the Illinois State Rifle Association. Join like-minded friends supporting the right to keep and bear arms in Illinois at 7 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month at the Silver Dollar Restaurant in Elwood, Illinois.
So the thing is about this show, keeping on track. You remember years ago when we talked about changing the show and making it more like it is now, and I'd said we can't compete with people like Sean Hannity and stuff, and it has to be something different.
Right.
And we came to the sort of conclusion that we were going to be like the people who live next door. We were going to ask questions and talk about stuff like you would. Well, I didn't say what part of Will County it was. It's southern Will County next door, okay? We're all hepped up on crack, all right?
It's meth.
It's
My
meth.
drug of choice is meth.
It's meth. There you go. So, yeah, there it is. And if you'd have been listening before the show when we did the F thing...
You should make that a commercial.
It would embarrass me. So here you go. Fourth Amendment. We're going to talk about Fourth Amendment because I think SCOTUS. Well, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. That's the Fourth Amendment. Now, SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, there was a case in L.A., and if I wander astray here, pull me back in, but there was a case in L.A. where a homeless couple, and I think it was the male, if I recall, the male, had violated parole.
No, they're looking for somebody else.
I thought they were looking for him.
No, the parole violator is somebody else. They know these people live there.
In the backyard. In that little shack. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I thought they were looking for him.
No.
So he's not even the guy they wanted.
They knew that those people were in that shack, but they weren't even looking for them. Because if they were looking for them, they would have just gone right there.
So they go to the house. No warrant.
The actual house.
What happened was whoever it was sighted, was seen somewhere. And,
right,
and they
tips.
got there and they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
So then they went to the house.
They got another tip.
Right.
That
they went back to the house.
They saw the person on a bicycle in front of this person's house. Let's see,
went into the house without a warrant.
Paula Hughes is the homeowner.
Went into the house without a warrant. No knocked in. Nobody in there. Now they'd sent 15 L.A. cops.
No, 12.
All right, let's not get bogged down in fact.
Hey, you said to fix you.
Okay, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. 15 is a better number than 12. But anyway, so a baker's dozen. How about that?
Okay.
They send 2 out back, which is normal. We should do that all the time. You seal in the back end so they don't get out the back.
Sure.
When there's nobody in the house, they all go in back and they go to the whatever hovel that these people live in back there. Now, no warrant. And now you tell me that's not even them. I thought it was him.
No, it says after forced entry into the Hughes residence, so the actual house, failed to find the parolee, 2 officers began a search of the backyard and approached the shack occupied by Angel and Jennifer Mendez. Without knocking or announcing themselves and without a warrant, the police opened the door to the shack and saw Angel. But yeah, they weren't even looking for him. They knew. It says the police officers were aware that Angel and Jennifer Mendez lived in the backyard of the Hughes residence.
And this guy has like a pellet gun for killing rats. They're living out in the middle, in a backyard, in a shack.
Sure.
So he's not even the suspect. They know he's in there. Mm-hmm. They don't knock. They don't announce. They don't have a warrant. They burst in. The guy's standing there holding a pellet gun they used to kill rats, and they shoot the joint up.
Right.
Oh, the 15 was the shots.
Yes.
They shot 15 times into a shack with 2 homeless people in it. Now,
yes,
we were both cops. And, I'm all for cops should be protected.
Sure,
and they should be able to do what they need to do.
Absolutely.
That's way over the top.
Yeah, it really
That is way over the top.
Yeah, no knock, no warrant. You're asking for trouble.
And particularly since it wasn't the guy to begin with.
Right. I mean, it basically just says that they knew they were there, so they're just trying to make sure, okay, the third person's not there, and just secure that, just...
No knock, no warrant.
Yeah, no, they were asking for it.
So you would think it made its way to SCOTUS, made its way to the Supreme Court. You would think that they would go, Fourth Amendment. Nah, we can't do that. They affirmed it.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't affirm. They overturned the appellate court, which said that they couldn't do it. So what the Supreme Court said is it's okay.
Right.
And I have a hard time with that.
Yeah, it says The U.S. Supreme Court has in the past rationalized its support of qualified immunity for government officials, including police officers, on the grounds that these officials might be too cautious in carrying out their duties if there was a risk that they might be held personally liable for wrongdoing on the job, which in general, I agree.
Yes, I agree
but
too.
But in this particular situation, they went too far.
Right. If they knew the guy was somewhere, okay, I'm a cop. Yeah, well, okay, I know he's in there. I'm going after him, getting him. They were fishing.
Well, and not only that, this article does not say, and I'm guessing it doesn't say because it's not part of the story. They're looking for a parole violator.
Right. Doesn't say if he's a felon or not.
Is he a felon? Right. That's what I want to know. I'm guessing he's probably not. Because if he were, they would have said so.
Exactly.
That would be relevant. That would make it a little bit more like, okay, I understand why they were really hunting for this guy because he's a murderer, or he's a rapist, or, something like that. And they're not saying that, so I'm guessing he's not. It's probably like DUI or something like that.
And the outcome of this is the guy gets shot so bad they have to amputate his leg below the knee.
Yeah.
She gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
Neither of them have done anything wrong. They're in their own, whatever you want to call it. To them, it's home.
Domicile.
This is just. I think they got this wrong, and that sort of surprises me. I mean, I want to have a conservative court. Mm-hmm. I would bet you anything that this was along party lines.
Yeah, I don't know.
I bet it was.
But
I just think it's over the top. I really do. I think it's over the top. And of course, that's it. It's the Supreme Court. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
It's going as far as it's going to go.
And I'm not one to go too far, down that road of, homeless people and, the bleeding heart people on the left, will go really far to be like, oh, we have to take special care and all, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to go too far on that. But really, seriously, these people are minding their own business and the cops knew that they were there.
Yeah. At some point, you got to say that's just not right.
If somebody was in my shed in my backyard and I didn't know, they weren't living there with permission, and they surprised the police, that would be one thing. But they knew they were there.
Exactly.
I don't understand.
And LA's had a lot of issues, like Chicago has, and like New York has.
Yeah.
Apparently, New York has gotten better from what I've read, and some of it. And I know this is a controversial issue, but some of it has been stop and frisk.
Yeah.
And you can say what you want. You can say what you want about violation of rights and everything, but from what I've read, it's had a pretty profound impact on crime.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't commit crimes, but if a cop came up to me and said, "Have you got a gun?" And I can hear now. Legal Herring is going to send me an email. What are you talking about? But I do not have a problem as a law-abiding citizen when if a cop were to say that, if he had something that made him feel hinky, I go, yeah, I got a gun.
Yeah.
Want to see my gun? No, I wouldn't say that. That'd be a bad choice.
You'd say, do you want to see my license?
Yeah, we always tell our students, whatever you do, don't say, I have a gun.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good way to get your head blown off. Anyway, I just read that and I thought it was just not something that sat well with me.
Yeah, I also didn't really like the tone of the article. They're making it sound like, and this is Freedom Outpost, which is usually good, but they're making it sound like it says continuing a disturbing trend of siding with police in cases of excessive use of force. I don't think that's true. I think they've gone too far, not the Supreme Court specifically, but, various levels of government, I think, have gone too far in siding with the criminals.
There's been a far more liberal bent to this. And how many times have people said that? I mean, you go to court and you look at it and, they bend over backwards. Mm-hmm. Now, in all fairness, there are people in prison that shouldn't be in prison. Mm-hmm. And we know that. And the system has screwed them. And a lot of them probably should be in prison, but not for the reason that they got sent to prison. And so if somebody's a scumbag, I think they just go, well, we got him on something. I have a hard time with that. I had somebody ask me once, when I was an expert witness, they said, "You do criminal cases?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll do whatever, whatever they pays me, I'll do it. I'm proud." And they said, "How can you defend a criminal?" And I said, "I don't defend criminals.
No.
I don't defend anybody.
No.
What I do is a lawyer says, I've got this case and these are the circumstances, and they send me this stuff and I read it, and I call them back and I tell them what I think, and sometimes they hire me, sometimes they don't. I truly believe, regardless of who you are, that everybody has a right to have the truth told at a trial. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. Now, that's insofar as I believe the truth to be, because I'm just somebody, right?
Right. You're just some third party they're bringing
right.
in.
And so I just read the stuff and I say, well, this is my opinion, and if they like my opinion, they hire me. If they don't like my opinion, they don't. I'm not an advocate for the person that's on trial. And there are people who take it like, well, you shouldn't do that. What if the guy's really innocent?
Right.
Everybody has a right to a fair trial. And if they're guilty, well, tough luck. You're going to go down.
Right.
But it bothers me, when they beat confessions out of people. We have people in Will County where you go, this guy really ought to be behind bars. But you got to be fair. You can't lock somebody up because they deserve to be locked up. You got to lock somebody up because they actually are guilty of doing something.
Well, because the evidence proves that
exactly
what you're saying is true. I saw, it just made me think of a Facebook post I saw this week from the sister of the woman in Willowbrook who was attacked with a knife in her own home.
I know who you're talking about.
And her sister posted that they've been going to court, and it's just agonizing that
I'm sure it is,
that you don't realize the level to which criminals really do get the benefit of the doubt until you're waist deep in that process, and then you go, wow, my sister was almost killed, and yet we can't get this guy a prison sentence, and so and how many people, how many witnesses do we need to have, and all this sort of thing, and so it just being somebody that I kind of know secondhand, it's a little disturbing.
They've gone too far.
Yeah.
For the most part, and that's mainly because.
Well, and I say this in concealed carry class, and I think people, if you have not been involved in the justice system for any reason, you don't know the level to which I'm being honest. But I say, the justice system is not about right and wrong, and it's not about black and white. It's a competition between lawyers, is really what it is.
A lot of it's how much money you have.
Well, it can come down to money, which is
to getting the best lawyer.
To getting a good lawyer, but exactly. It's who's better, the prosecutor or your defense attorney?
Exactly. All right, when we come back, we're going to have an update, and we're going to talk a little bit about tearing down Confederate soldier statues. This just sticks in my craw. Yeah. It really sticks in my craw. So all that and more, well, not a whole lot more, but all that and some more. And we return with more on Target Radio.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. The On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com.
Or call 815-741-3474. That's 815-741-3474. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
In need of a ride to O'Hare or Midway Airport? Well, look no further. The Yellow Checker Cab Company is the cab company for you. With the Yellow Checker Cab Company, you will always be greeted by a friendly face and arrive safely and on time for your flight. Start your trip off right by taking advantage of one of their limos, shuttle vans, cabs, or courtesy cars. And airport trips are not all they specialize in. This 24-hour cab service will pick you up anytime, any day, for any occasion. From bachelorette parties to school dances to just a night out with friends. Yellow Checker Cab Company has the best rates in town. So sit back, relax, and leave the driving to the professionals. Once you experience their fast and affordable cab service, you'll be a customer for life. When it comes to cab companies, be sure to choose Yellow Checker Cab because you have the right to expect certain things from your cab company. For further information or to book your trip today, call 815-744-2900. That's 815-744-2900.
You're listening to On Target Radio with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life. Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
From the Illinois State Rifle Association, the good news is that SB 1657, the gun dealer licensing bill, was not passed by the Illinois House of Representatives. The bad news is that it was not defeated either. Shortly before 8 p.m. on Wednesday, May 31st, the Illinois House of Representatives adjourned to the call of the chair. That means regular session is continued. Deadlines for bills have been extended until June 30th of this year. Deadlines in the legislature can be extended again and again. That means SB 1657 is still alive and can be voted on any time the legislature is in session. This will likely be one of the summers in which the Illinois legislature will be repeatedly called back into session. That also means that the anti-gun side has time to work on getting votes. The ISRA will continue working through the summer to prevent this bill and other anti-gun bills like SB 556 from passing. It's time again for the NRA Day Open House at the ISRA Range in Bonfield. This year's event will be Saturday, June 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Why should you attend NRA Day at the ISRA Range? There are many reasons. Number 1, free admission and free parking. Number 2, shooting activities for the entire family. Number 3, covered firing points. Number 4, no charge to rent guns. Manufacturers will be on hand to let you shoot their guns for free. You just pay for the ammunition. Number 5, no FOID card needed. Number 6, nearly every shooting discipline will be available for you to try. Air rifles, archery, .22 pistols, handguns of many calibers, shotguns, rifles, even muzzle loaders. So we will see you at the open house on Saturday, June 17th, right? The following Safer USA classes are at our facility in Waterman. Sunday, June 11th, long range rifle, taught by Ed Janka. Sunday, June 11th, tactical pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. Saturday and Sunday, July 8th and 9th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
Do you remember I had a go around with Facebook about advertising course last month?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like 4 times. I resubmit. They go, wording is wrong. We don't accept it. It has to do with selling guns, which of course we don't do.
Right.
And I wrote this long explanation. I literally wrote, we don't sell guns. We don't take people to where guns are sold. We don't recommend they buy a gun. All this crap. And they just go, denied, wording, denied. This one, I just put the ad in, went right through, and they go, okay.
Yeah. It's arbitrary.
I guess they're just like whack jobs
Well,
at Facebook.
I imagine it's just like Amazon and everything else, that it's just computers flagging stuff, and they see firearm and they go, "Ugh."
Well, I don't know.
I saw this matrix, and I don't know if it's true or not, but it was supposedly Facebook's kind of guide for what's allowed and not allowed. And apparently, like, hunting is okay, but talking about selling guns obviously is not. And
which we don't do.
Using guns to hurt humans is not allowed either. So
we don't
I don't know if they're
that.
putting you in that category somehow, even though you don't belong there.
For years, they let me advertise. And last month, they said you can't, and now this month they said it's okay.
Well, they've gotten a lot worse, but hopefully they've gotten it straightened out for you.
I don't know. It's
they need to tweak their algorithm.
They need to tweak the people that work there. You know why hunting is okay? Do you know why hunting is okay?
Well, Zuckerberg is.
He's a big hunter.
Zuckerberg,
He's a big hunter, which I would have never guessed, but he is. In fact, he did a whole thing. I can't remember what holiday. I don't know if it was. I think it was Thanksgiving, maybe. He did a whole live show for several hours while he was in his patio. You're seeing him in the patio, right? He's got this big cooker. He's smoking venison and stuff, and his buddies are showing up, and they're drinking beers, and he's just talking to the camera. And he's just carrying a conversation with people, and people are typing, and what are you using for a rub, and oh, well, we're doing this. It was just like, and I was captivated by it. I mean, I'm watching this guy, I'm going, this is not who I thought Mark Zuckerberg was.
Yeah.
Because he is a liberal. But he was talking about food is better if you have to stalk it, kill it, clean it, grill it. He goes, it's better.
There you go.
Yeah, I was surprised. So I dug around a little bit, and I looked at donations that he's made. And he donates more to liberal, but he actually has donated to a bunch of conservative causes, too. So I kind of got to where I thought the guy was pretty cool. And I thought maybe I'd drop in. We have a few beers.
Have some venison.
Sure. Have some venison, yeah. Maybe jerky, venison jerky, yeah. This thing about liberals revising history, cleansing our nation of sin, as it were.
Yeah, revisionist history in general is a minefield.
Interestingly enough, it never occurs to them that they need to have their history revised.
Right, no.
But the mayor of New Orleans, and I've always had kind of a soft spot in my heart for New Orleans. I lived in Louisiana. I didn't live in New Orleans, but I used to go down there all the time. And I've always said, the only way you get a bad meal in New Orleans, go to McDonald's. I mean, every place you go, the food's phenomenal, the music is phenomenal, the roaches are phenomenal. But,
as they are everywhere in the South.
Yeah, these are bigger than cars. I mean, really, seriously. If you want, you don't call a cab. You forget the cab. You just get in the back of a roach and tell them where you want to go. But they have a lot of monuments in Louisiana. Louisiana was deeply involved in the war of northern aggression, as John Winters used to tell me when I was at Louisiana Tech. And they're just knocking down Confederate soldiers. And in some cases, they're exhuming bodies in cemeteries. This is insanity. Wasn't it Edmund Burke that said those who do not study history are doomed to repeat it?
Yes.
Look, for better or for worse, we are who we are because of our history.
Right.
And if people don't understand how we got to where we got to, we're screwed.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the Civil War is an inextricable part of our history, and as you say, it makes the United States what it is. And yeah, you can't just erase the parts you don't like. And
they certainly are trying. And now the mayor of Baltimore, of all places, I didn't even know Baltimore. What's Baltimore got to do with anything? Period. Not just the Civil War. What does Baltimore have to do with anything?
Unless you're talking about, riots and black crime.
Yeah. So they're talking about taking down statues. That's just wrong. I mean, it's just they're renaming streets.
Yeah, South Carolina finally took down the Confederate flag.
Yeah, right. That's just wrong. And it's interesting because John Winters, who I told you was at Louisiana Tech when I was a faculty there, he was faculty, an older gentleman, was a big Civil War historian, although it was the war of northern aggression. But this is classic because this is northern aggression again against the South. Those people down there revere these people. and they're just literally gutting their way of life, and I don't get it. The thing that I find particularly interesting is that one of the people who they tried to get all the statues and stuff in Texas is Sam Houston taken down. That's a serious mistake.
This says, is it, you said Antifa?
Antifa.
Right.
Antifa? Okay. Protesters in Texas have demanded the removal of any other landmark that bears the name of Sam Houston. Like the city of Houston?
Exactly. And the thing is, this man was a founder of the Republic of Texas. Well, he was a founder of the state of Texas. It was a republic. Mm-hmm. How can you erase that from history? You can't just erase that. And the other thing is Robert E. Lee. And I didn't know this until I started reading up on it. Robert E. Lee, of course, they all went to West Point, right?
Okay.
They all went to West Point.
Sure.
And at some point, the Southern generals who went, and Grant, all those people went the same thing. The Southern generals, parted company, and they said, it was about states' rights. That's what it was about. Mm-hmm. It was not about slavery. Everybody says about slavery because that's what you want to hear. Lincoln never
Slavery
freed.
was one of them.
Well, but Lincoln never freed the northern slaves. Mm-hmm. He only freed the southern states. The Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves in southern states to gut southern states of the ability to support its own economy.
Sure.
It was economics.
Sure.
He didn't free them in the north. They were on their own. They were still slaves. And people go, well, Lincoln freed the slaves. That's bull. It was strictly an economic measure.
It was mostly the South that had slaves, though. It was the South that had plantations that needed slaves to operate.
Ding, ding, ding. That is the point.
Right. If there were northern slaves, there weren't as many. I mean,
I won't
say,
if you don't kill as many people, it's okay.
I won't say there were none, but
there definitely were.
Okay, but I'm just saying he freed most of the slaves.
And the reality is, slaves were replaced by effective slave labor. So when the Irish came to this country in particular, when the Chinese came to this country,
and even former slaves who agreed to continue doing what they had been doing.
Like sharecroppers.
Right.
Yeah. But what they did is in places like in mines and things like that. So the Irish had come to this country, couldn't find a job in the big cities. Every ethnic group went through it. Sure. My dad came here and there were signs, no Dagos and all that stuff. But so they come in and you can't find work in the city. And they go, well, we got coal mines. You can come down and work in a coal mine. Mm-hmm. So what they do is they give you a place to live in and they give you a credit at the company store.
Yep.
And then they don't pay you enough money to be able to pay off the credit. Mm-hmm. So you're not a slave, but you know what? Yeah, you are. You really are a slave. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they always find ways to get around that stuff.
That's like when you read The Grapes of Wrath. They would pick the fruit and then they would bring it in and they would go, oh no, this fruit is bruised. We can't pay you what we said we were going to pay you. Exactly. We're going to pay you half of that.
And then they go ahead and sell the fruit anyway.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's all going to be that way because it's ripe.
Right.
And so,
it's
a racket.
And I look around, and I've never been a union guy. I'm not a big union guy. But you look around at some of these things, and you go, that's where they need the union. Mm-hmm. And one of them, and that I've talked about many times, is this center out here, where they will hire people all the way up until the day before. At some point, you have to hire them. You got to actually hire them. They've worked there so long.
Sure.
And then they fire them.
Yeah.
And they just cut loose. If everyone,
like UPS keeps almost everybody part-time so they don't have to get benefits.
So they don't get benefits, right.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
And I think, things like Obamacare just made that, it exacerbated that phenomenon, that practice of why create a full-time job, then we're going to have to give full-time benefits, and it's going to make it exponentially more expensive to actually hire this person.
Right, you go out of business.
So I'd rather hire 2 people and give them no benefits.
The interesting thing, they want General Robert E. Lee, to be stricken too. He was never for secession. He never was. He was a Southerner. He took up the cause. Never was for secession. And when the war was over, he's the guy that kept saying, we're a family. We got to come back together. So, and they want him stricken, which makes no sense at all. But it is the way it is. And what are you going to do? It just bothers me. And it bothers me because eventually these morons are going to get squashed, and because the pendulum always swings back and forth, and things will sort of restore to normal. But Meanwhile, all that history is going to be gone. They're like ISIS. They go to a country and they neuter it. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'd like to thank you for taking the time for listening tonight, and we'd appreciate it if you tell your friends about On Target Radio.
We'd also like to thank our engineer, Eric Allen, and our sponsors, the Will County chapter of the ISRA, Yellow Checker of Joliet, My Editor, Creative Business Services, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, and Safer USA.
And finally, we hope you'll be listening next week when we'll be covering more red meat issues that affect your life.